Welcome to the Fun Facts of Mythology channel. Angels are divine beings widely known for their extreme beauty and kindness. However, there are some angels that turn out to be dark and not so benevolent, such as, for example, the angel formed by tongues and eyes and even the angel of death. In this video, you will have the opportunity to meet the 7 strangest angels mentioned in the Bible. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel and share the video, because you have no idea how much it helps me. Cherubim are a very famous class of angels, possibly due to the belief that Satan or Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, was part of this class before his fall from heaven. This Judeo-Christian classification is curious, as originally the shape of these angels resembled other creatures from different mythologies, with human bodies and animal heads. This takes us, for example, to the gods of ancient Egypt or even the Sphinx, a winged being with an animal body and a human head, or the Lamassu of Sumerian mythology, which is basically a chimera with the body of a bull and the head of a man, in addition to of a pair of wings. If you are interested in books about mythology, angels, demons, or any other Kindle type, take a look at the description, where there is a link to Amazon, where you will find several options. By using the link, you will be helping me a lot. The hierarchy of angels is quite confusing, because depending on the tradition, a class can be below or above another, varying a lot. However, according to Christianity, cherubim rank second in the heavenly hierarchy, second only to seraphim. However, in other cultures that do not consider seraphim to be angels, cherubim occupy first place. The word cherubim comes from the Hebrew cheruvim, which is a variation of the Syrian word kurabu or karabum, which means powerful or great. Normally, they appear as fluffy and cute babies, but originally they weren't even close. This representation arose from paintings that portrayed them in this way. In the Bible, in the book of Genesis, cherubim are described as guardians of the Garden of Eden, holding a flaming sword.
After casting out man, God placed cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden and a flaming sword that moved, guarding the way to the tree of life.
Cherubim are also described as creatures that stand beneath the throne of God and transport it to various places. They have the appearance of one being with many heads, such as the head of an eagle, a bull, a man, and a lion. Ezekiel described,
I looked, and I saw a stormy wind coming from the north, a great cloud with a blazing fire around it and a bright glow in the center. In the center of the fire was something that looked like polished metal. In the middle of the cloud I saw what looked like 4 living creatures. They had a human appearance, but each of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight, and their soles were like those of a calf, shining like burnished bronze. Under their wings on the 4 sides, they had hands. All 4 had faces and wings. Their wings were attached to each other. When they moved, they did not turn, but each one moved forward. As for the appearance of their faces, all 4 had a human face on the right, a lion's face on the left, an ox's face on the other side, and an eagle's face. So were their faces. Their wings were extended upwards. Each creature had 2 wings, which touched the wings of the other living creatures. Each one had 2 wings. One of them went straight ahead. Where the Spirit moved them, they went, without turning around.
Seraphim is another Judeo-Christian angelic classification, and even in these 2 views, seraphim are viewed differently. For Christians, a seraphim is considered the highest rank of angels, the closest angels to God. In Judaism, however, it is an intermediate issue. Seraphim are bright and extremely radiant angels, to the point of appearing to be on fire, hence the meaning of their name, which possibly means something like flame or fire. Despite this, in Christianity, the seraphim is a type of angel, while in other views, a seraphim does not fit this category, as angel means messenger, and a seraphim has the sole and exclusive mission of observing and praising God. These beings had 3 pairs of wings. There are a few explanations for this, one being that one pair is used for flying, another to cover their eyes so they don't look directly at God, and the third to cover their feet. The 6 wings attributed to seraphim also have a variety of symbolic meanings. They represent the speed with which the seraphim carry out God's will, the ability to fly towards Him, and the humility to cover one's face, acknowledging the divine greatness. In the book of Isaiah, there is mention of these angels praising and singing to God.
In the year that King Uzziah died, I also saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Seraphim were above him, each having 6 wings. With 2 they covered his faces, covered their feet with 2, and flew with 2. And they cried one to another, saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, the whole earth is full of his glory. And the doorposts shook at the voice of one that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then I said, Woe is me! For I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell among a people of unclean lips unclean. Mine eyes saw the King, the Lord of hosts. But the 2 seraphim flew to me, having in their hand a live coal, which they took from the altar with tongs. And they touched my mouth with the coal, and said, Behold, I am touched your lips, and your iniquity is taken away, and your sin forgiven.
Samael is an enigmatic figure who remains in limbo. No one knows for sure if he is an angel or a demon. However, even when he appears as an angel, he performs a somewhat peculiar role, as the angel of death, a role that various other angels can also have. In Jewish tradition, Samael is considered a fallen angel and one of the main adversaries of the people of Israel. He is associated with evil, temptation, and the angel of death. Samael is mentioned in Kabbalistic and rabbinic texts as one of the leaders of the rebel angel armies. Samael can also be mentioned as one of the names of Satan, being considered the prince of demons and associated with temptation and accusation. This even makes sense with the meaning of his name, since Samael could mean something like poison of God, but this meaning could also be related to the role assigned by God to him to spread poison across the earth when the time comes and take the men. He can be depicted flying through the skies like an eagle and surrounded by what would be souls or demons. It is also said that he has 12 wings. Abaddon is another one of those who are in limbo, being able to be both a demon and an angel. Its exact nature is uncertain. He is usually associated with destruction and the abyss, which is a way of referring to the abyss itself. Abaddon doesn't have a specific physical description, but he certainly must be quite peculiar. In the Bible's book of Revelation, he is portrayed as the leader of those lion-headed, scorpion-tailed locusts who came to torment mankind.
And the appearance of the locusts was like that of horses prepared for war, and upon their heads were crowns like gold, and his face was like the face of a man, and they had hair like a woman's hair, and his teeth were like lions' teeth, and they had breastplates like breastplates of iron, and the noise of their wings was like the noise of chariots, when many horses run to battle. And they had tails like scorpions, and stingers, and in their tails is their power to harm men for 5 months. And they had a king over them, the angel of the abyss. In Hebrew his name was Abaddon, and in Greek Apollyon.
In other apocryphal texts, Abaddon is mentioned as the angel who searched for Jesus after the crucifixion. If you want to know more details about Abaddon, I have a video dedicated exclusively to Abaddon, the one who is described as the most mysterious angel in the Bible, will be available in the description. I know Satan is a demon, not an angel, but you'll understand. Anyway, I think everyone already knows that Satan, at least at one point, was part of the celestial kingdom. However, there is a slight difference between Satan in the Old Testament and the New Testament. In the Old Testament, at times, we may have the idea that he would actually be a function and not a specific being. Satan would be a position given to some angel from heaven to test humanity. In Hebrew, the word Satan means adversary or accuser. It is a term that appears several times in the Hebrew Bible, as it occurs in the story of Job, when it says that Satan was in the presence of God. In fact, in this case, it would not be the Satan, but a Satan, who was in the presence of God and began to test Job's faith. Just the fact of having an angel with that function is something quite peculiar. However, this is more present in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, we realize that there really is a character with the name of Satan. He would be the same serpent that tempted Adam and Eve to eat the forbidden fruit and caused them to be expelled from paradise. However, for me, the most curious aspect of Satan is in the book of Revelation, where he appears quite differently from the other angels. Personally, I have never seen another angel with such a distinctive transformation as he has, which manifests itself in the form of a dragon. In that form, he even sweeps some stars from the sky, but ends up being defeated by Miguel and his army.
Then there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon. And the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail. And there was no more place for them in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, the ancient serpent, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast down to the earth, and his angels were cast down with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, "Now salvation has come, and power and kingdom of our God, and the authority of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, who accused them before our God day and night."
Sandalfon, also known as Sandalfeo, is an angelic being present in several spiritual traditions, such as Judaism, Islam, and some aspects of esotericism. Its name derives from the Hebrew Sandalfon or Sandalphon, which means brother or older brother. Therefore, he was practically the twin brother of the great and famous angel Metatron. Like Metatron, Sandalfon was also classified as a Seraphim, although he may sometimes be referred to as an archangel. In the folklore of Jewish mysticism, he is described as an angel so gigantic that it would take nearly 500 years to cover his entire body. In a certain story, it is said that the angel Radarniel would have taken Moses to meet Sandalfon, but the vision of his body so powerful and shining was so intense that God himself had to appear before Moses to calm him down in the face of so much fear. Sandalfon is also responsible for placing crowns on God's head, representing the praise of various angels. According to Jewish tradition, Sandalfon is considered one of the highest archangels, responsible for transmitting the prayers of humans to heaven. Unlike Metatron, who symbolizes more light, Sandalfon's sound can represent a bit of darkness. In addition, Sandalfon is responsible for determining the sex of babies while they are still in the mother's womb. Like Metatron, he can be associated with Enoch and Elijah. If you want to know more about Metatron, I have a full video about him here on how before he was an angel of God he would have been just a man. The link will be available in the description for you. Azrael is known as the Archangel of Death, especially in Islamic tradition where he is recognized as the Angel of Death. His name, Azrael, is widely used in Sikhism and Islam to refer to this Angel of Death. In the Quran, he is not mentioned by the name Azrael, but rather as Malik al-Maut, which means Angel of Death. Despite his frightening role, if we take his name literally, Azrael is simply an angel who fulfills his God-assigned task. Although he is the Archangel of Death, Azrael is not allowed to go around killing anyone. He always follows God's will, according to Jewish tradition. Azrael is described as the angel in the third heaven, in one of his various forms, and is represented with 4 faces, 4,000 wings. His body is formed by tongues and eyes, and the number of these parts is equal to the number of people living in the earth. In some traditions, Azazel is portrayed as a fallen angel, associated with rebellion and corruption, He is considered one of the leaders of the rebel angels known as the Watchers, mentioned in the Book of Enoch. According to these narratives, Azazel would have taught humans forbidden practices, such as the manufacture of weapons and the practice of magic. He would also have had relationships with human women, giving rise to a race of giants called Nephilim. These apocryphal stories expanded the figure of Azazel, portraying him as an evil and seductive being who corrupted humanity. I will leave in the description of this video, our video about all types of fallen angels if you are interested. Some people used to leave a lock of hair untouched, just in case the time came, so that Azrael could take them to heaven. If you've watched the video so far, leave your like, share and subscribe to the channel to show that you liked it. Don't forget to also check the description, where you will find a link to Amazon, where you can find books of interest. Thank you. See you soon.